Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to this video on the Virgo full moon happening on March 18th at 3:18 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this full moon is really significant because it is the final full moon before we enter a new astrological year. And that happens on March 20th when the sun will move into the sign of Aries. So for many people, this has been a powerful time of inward reflection, especially where we are in Pisces season, which invites us to rest, invites us to relax and lean back and really feel into what we truly desire, how we are using our life force energy to create, to generate, to magnetize the experiences that we desire. So there's a lot of emotion and energy that's coming up around this full moon, and it really is a wonderful opportunity to release and heal before you enter into a new chapter of your life. So if you are new to me and my channel, welcome. My name is Kara Melendi. I'm an Akashic astrologer. So I study the planetary shifts, but I also work within the realm of the Akashic Records. So I love to bring the two of these together in helping you tap into the highest timeline possible for your life and business. And when I work with clients one-on-one or in group programs, I help you elevate your business by co-creating with cosmic intelligence. And I'm actually hosting a free masterclass on the day of the full moon that's all about tapping into the universal intelligence of your business. So if that's something that interests you, I will attach the link below that has all the details. It's going to be a really powerful gathering, especially in this energy of the full moon, and there will be a replay available as well. So let's dive right in and take a look at these energies, giving a little bit of backdrop and context before I pull up my screen and we go over more of the details and specifics. So with this full moon, there is this beautiful opportunity to get organized and clear around where we desire to go. What is that new chapter and new path that is opening up for us? And a part of that is the releasing and letting go of old thought forms, old habits that no longer serve us. And the beauty of this is Virgo reminds us that the answers are often in our daily routine. Sometimes when we feel like we want to make these big shifts in our life, we start thinking we have to make these really big, bold moves in order to create a big change. And sometimes that is the case, but more often it's about changing the little things that you do consistently. Those thought patterns, those habits that are a part of the daily routine. It's like you're thinking this thought today because you thought it yesterday, but it's actually not serving you and align with your vision. Like that's the type of thing we are becoming more aware of in these energies and having the opportunity to release. Now, the message I did receive from the records is this is going to bring up a lot of emotion. It's going to be a lot that's surfacing in this energy, but you can feel very supported and held as you sort through your feelings with a newfound awareness. As you connect to your innate ability to really be that master alchemist of your life. So while there's a lot coming up, you're going to be very proud of how you are able to navigate these emotions and the energy that is emerging right now. So let me share my screen here so we can have this visual representation of the energies. So this is the chart for the full moon on the 18th. Of course, the highlight is this Virgo moon at 27 degrees. So I want to begin by diving in more deeply to the Virgo archetype. This applies to you whether or not you are a Virgo. If you are someone who has a lot of planets in Virgo in your chart, if you are a Virgo moon or Virgo sun, you can relate to this even more deeply. But again, this applies to all of us because each of us are feeling these energies right now. So Virgo really does embody this energy of service. It wants to give back. It has the purest of intentions to help other people, to give back to the world. And Virgo is also about how we process and gather information and data. So it's an earth sign, but a very mercurial earth sign because it's ruled by Mercury. So it does have this tendency to overthink and overanalyze, but it reminds us of the power of our mind when we know how to balance that with our heart. And when the two come together, which is really happening with this full moon energy as well. So looking at how you are giving back and supporting the planet at this time, the people around you, and knowing that this is different than servitude, which is giving it all at the expense of yourself. And that can be a lower octave expression of Virgo, is wanting to keep peace and harmony, wanting to give back so much that they forget about themselves in the process. And it becomes very much about what they can do for others. We want both. We want to give from a place where we also feel good and we also feel very aligned, and we're doing this, we're helping other people out because we genuinely want to, not out of a sense of obligation. So we want to look at how that energy is coming up. Now, Virgo, especially this Virgo moon, also connects to our well-being. And looking at how we are treating our body. This is about physical healing. So how you are sleeping, how are you fueling your body with food and exercise? Making changes in any of those areas right now can really serve you. How are you caring for this beautiful physical vessel that carries you through life? And again, the key can often be found in your daily routine. You don't have to switch everything at once. What is one little change you can make that has huge implications on where you could be 6 months from now? Now, because Virgo is ruled by Mercury, this is a time to also look at your thought process. How are you fueling your body and your energy field through the thoughts that you are entertaining? Thoughts are not absolute truths. And when we remember that, we gain power over our thoughts. And what I mean by that, I have a background in psychology. I have a master's in psychology. So studying belief systems and thought forms is something I did very closely in order to help my clients, but also myself. Like, this has been game changing for me, this realization that, wow, thoughts are not absolute truths, they are options. What thoughts are you latching onto? Every thought we have, every thought that exists has an energy and frequency to it. So as you shift and change your energy, the thoughts that you become a match to also change as well. So those questions are coming in with this Virgo energy being highlighted as well. Now, opposite the Virgo full moon, you see these red lines here representing opposition. It is in a direct opposition to the sun in the sign of Pisces. And of course, every time there's a full moon, we're going to have that opposition in place where the sun and the moon are going to be in opposite zodiac signs. So we are working with the Virgo Pisces axes of astrology, and both of these signs are the healers. They represent healing in different ways. So Virgo is supporting our physical well-being. Pisces is supporting our emotional and spiritual well-being. So they're coming together here. How are we honoring our physical health as well as our emotional health? Bringing both of those together is key here. This also brings together the mind, Virgo, the heart, Pisces, honoring both, how they come together. Now, Pisces and Virgo are also mutable signs, and mutable signs remind us of the importance of being adaptable and flexible. The importance of going with the flow and not being so caught up in like, this is the only way to do things, it has to be done this way. It helps us break that side of us that can be very rigid and stuck in our ways to our detriment, and reminds us to explore new possibilities. Now, Virgo does this through its service, being able to look outside of itself and say, how are other people feeling? What are other people thinking? How can I be of assistance here? And of course, the lower octave of that is forgetting to be of service to you and what you're needing. You want both. Piscean energy can be very chameleon-like, the natural empath of the zodiac, if you have a lot of Pisces energy, naturally blending to its environment. So the energy of any given place, the person personality of other people. Now, the lower octave of this can be losing a sense of identity, losing a sense of self. So where may that be happening in your life, where you are taking on other people's energy and perspectives and making them an absolute truth instead of questioning, is this an absolute truth? Who am I? Where am I? Not having those strong energetic boundaries and losing myself. And how can I come back to a really strong sense of self? Now, we still have Neptune and the Sun in a conjunction here. They're still really close together, and this is expanding our imagination. This is bringing in new possibilities, and that's the key to being a powerful manifester. You are able to see beyond your current reality to what is possible. And the Akashic Records, and one of the many reasons I love co-creating in this space, working in this realm, accessing the records for myself and my clients, is it shows us the vast possibilities that are available, and it helps us align to the highest timeline, the one that's aligned to our path. We have to be willing to see beyond what is in order to expand and grow. And this beautiful Piscean energy here, even though it's a Virgo moon, Virgo full moon, there's a lot of energy here in Pisces, which is about creation, imagination, seeing beyond what is into a new possibility. And Piscean energy can be very, very fun to create in and play in, but it will invite us into deeper levels of trust and faith and surrender. If we are very locked into needing to know how things are going to happen, when things are going to happen, this can be a stressful time because things are very concrete when it comes to Pisces. They can feel very abstract. And this is where we have to find a sense of self, a sense of comfort, a sense of safety in the unknown. Now, Jupiter and Neptune are also moving closer together as well. And again, I see this as activating higher realms of consciousness. New creative downloads, new creative ideas are dropping in right now. Allow them to settle, allow them to integrate. Now, Mercury here is also moving closer to Jupiter, fitting into this theme of new ideas are coming in that will invite you to see beyond what is to what is possible. It will invite you to release what once worked in order to step into something better. And this has just been coming in for months now from the records. And so many of you have said how much this resonated with you, this idea of letting go of good enough in order to step into something great. It takes a lot of courage to let go of what has worked, what is working, in order to say, I'm ready to expand into more. And we want to expand into more, not from a space of lack, not from a space of I'll be worthy when, but from a space of desire. Desiring growth, desiring evolution, desiring to say yes to where our heart is guiding us. Again, there's a big difference in doing that from a space of happiness is found in this next manifestation versus I desire to do this because it's part of being human, is growth and expansion and the learning to release and grieve and let go and create space to receive. Like this energy is really helping us with that. Now, a big message I'm receiving here from the records as well is there's so many of you are going to be faced with some pretty big decisions right now. It can feel like there's this the two different paths, or perhaps many different paths that are opening up. And there's some big decisions coming in that are really going to change the course of your life and where it goes. Virgo energy here reminds you to collect the information you need, get the data that you need, but ultimately trust your heart. Pisces, trust your heart on what you say yes to and what decision you take. And when you're gathering information, be intentional about what information you are gathering from the sources it is coming from. When we ask other people's opinions, you have to remember that they're giving their opinion from their belief system, their experience. That is also not an absolute truth. So be very intentional about whose opinion you are asking. Do you trust them? Do they have results you would like to receive in a way in which you would like to receive them? We don't want to just ask anyone for their opinion. Some people, we may not care to hear their opinion. And I'll often share this with my clients as well. Like, be intentional, even like who you celebrate with, what you share, especially if you're not in a space of being really locked in and knowing the power of your decision and where you're going, because people can sway you. Even if they have your best intentions and they really love you, it doesn't necessarily mean the advice or guidance they give is what you need to hear or what's going to benefit you. So there's going to be decisions you are making. Get information from reliable places and people, but at the end of the day, it's got to be a gut decision. This is going to be about trusting your heart. Mercury is the ruler of this full moon. It is currently in Pisces, which is trust your intuition, trust your heart to guide you. Now, the other aspect I want to look at, which besides this opposition between the moon and the planets in Pisces, is this trine with Pluto over here in Capricorn. So you can see that blue line there is representative of a trine, and trines in astrology are harmonious flows of energy. Pluto has really been coming into the mix. If you followed my videos these past few months, you've seen Pluto pop up time and time again. And it is the planet of power, transformation. I often associate it with the energy of the phoenix, always rising up, like going through the darkness, but rising. It's powerful. And the moon is our inner world. So this is where the download really dropped in of, wow, there's a lot of emotion and energy coming up with this full moon. There's a lot you're feeling into, but there is a gentleness to the Virgo and Pisces energy here where you can feel really held as you process and as you heal. Now, Pluto brings in very important conversations around power. And I invite you to feel into this knowingness that you are powerful. Infinite intelligence flows through you. You are connected to source energy. You are so powerful. Sometimes we see power. I actually think often we can see power as something other people have outside of ourselves. Sometimes something we don't want anything to do with, because we've seen people in authority. We see people in authority misusing power, abusing their power, dominating others through their power. Please know I'm never talking about any of that when I speak about power. This is about power that allows you to create what you desire in your life. This is the power that comes when you recognize you are connected with infinite intelligence. This is a power that is naturally yours, that is very grounded in love and well-being. So really keep that in mind here. That's coming in. I feel that conversation is going to become more prominent in months to come. Pluto is the ruler of our South Node right now in Scorpio. So, I mean, this is a theme we're going to revisit. And it is coming up with this full moon, but the message even stronger than that as it relates to this full moon and this trine here between the moon in Virgo and Pluto here in Capricorn is the ability to alchemize energy and emotion. It's the ability you have to move through emotion. It's the ability you have to recognize that you are the master of your energy, and energy can change form. Like, I've really been receiving that message lately, like, yes, clearing, healing energy, releasing energy from your field that doesn't serve you, that's not aligned to your blueprint. But also energy can change form. So you can have energy at play in your field that may be not serving you, and you're able to alchemize that. Pluto also speaks to that archetype of the alchemist, the master alchemist. So that's really coming in here. And I think it's going to serve you during this full moon, where there can be old patterns coming up, deeper levels of healing you are invited to do, maybe even old trauma that you're moving through. But again, there's this gentleness that you are invited to feel into as you process that, as you move through that. The last thing I want to look at here is this lineup of planets in the sign of Aquarius. We have Saturn and Venus and Mars in Aquarius. Mars and Venus are still in a close conjunction. And this energy for the full moon, not saying it is very significant, it's not directly interacting with the full moon, but I think it's still kind of what we initially spoke about, that's at the forefront. This is kind of the backdrop of it. It's a reminder to focus on where you are going. Focus on your vision. Aquarius is very future focused, very progressive, very much about let's move into what is. And in the highest expression, it's about creating more harmony and peace for our world. It's about constant improvement. So while you're doing this healing, this releasing, this inward reflection, remember to stay focused on where you desire to go. Where is this all going? And this quote keeps dropping in lately from Joe Dispenza, who talks about, these aren't the exact words, but basically this idea of being guided by a vision of the future instead of a memory of the past. That really captures the energy here around this full moon. You're healing, you're releasing, you have to move through the past. You don't want to not address trauma, not address the subconscious. Like, it's not about bypassing that. It's about lovingly bringing it up, moving through it, but ultimately being guided by what you know is possible for yourself and for the planet. Really beautiful energies here we are working with in this full moon. Feel free to share with me your full moon intentions below. I know we often think of new moon intentions. So, feel free to share what you're releasing and letting go of, but also what you're stepping into, because we are about to enter that new chapter. And these always go together. When we release, we want to fill that space to receive. So I'm also going to attach below the masterclass, Tap into the Universal Intelligence of Your Business, happening on Friday. It is free to join. I'll share my Instagram below, my one and only Instagram at Kara Melendi. I'll attach it below. And sending so much love and light your way. Happy full moon. Enjoy these beautiful healing energies. Bye for now.